I'd say the first time I shot heroin, I was 18. I was in the back of some Honda Civic with these two homeless people. They lived in their car. And I remember it was in Manchester, New Hampshire. We had been panhandling. I was homeless at the time. Don't really want to go into how I became homeless. I remember we stopped in the middle of a street. The driver got out of the car, went, met up with this guy who got the bag of heroin, came back into the car. We drove off to some parking lot. They mixed up a shot. I was like really afraid for my first time because I didn't want to overdose. And they shot me up. After that, the first thing I felt, it was almost like a punch to the chest. Yeah, it was kind of like a punch to the chest. Like my breathing had become restricted. It was harder for me to breathe. Just like a tingling, warm sensation, like someone had just poured hot honey over the top of my head or my brain. Someone took some honey, warmed it up just perfectly in the microwave, somehow opened the top of my skull and just poured honey over my brain, and I just felt this clarity that I've never felt in my life. This feeling like, okay, yeah, this is what I've been missing out on my entire life. And I knew in that moment that I was fucked. But I didn't care. I had found what I was looking for. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. Anything I wanted to be, anything any goals I had in life were instantly forgotten about. And my number one priority was feeling this feeling all the time for the rest of my life. I didn't care about anything. I had no morals from that point when I first felt that feeling. Everything after that, I had no morals. There wasn't anything I wouldn't do to get more heroin. Heroin has really been the barnacle under my boat that has been stuck there. I don't even like to smoke pot anymore. That's really what I started with too, is marijuana. I every time I smoke it now, everything I say, I repeat it in my head, and it's not fun anymore. Especially when I smoke it with other people, I act really weird, or at least I think I do. Later on, I'll be like, hey, was I acting weird? And they're like, no, dude, you were totally fine. But I feel like they're just lying to me. Yeah, I don't like smoking pot. From that moment forward, after feeling that feeling, the first time doing heroin, I didn't give a fuck about anything. I didn't give a fuck about life. I didn't give a fuck about my friends. I didn't give a fuck about my family. My top priority was how can I get money to get more heroin to relive that same feeling. And never again did I feel the feeling I felt the first time I shot up. I chased that feeling. I'm constantly looking for that feeling today as we talk every day. Doing heroin has turned me into the biggest pussy you can ever imagine. I've talked about before, normalcy becomes painful. Living your life on this pink poofy cloud, being high so often when you are not high, you're a fucking pussy. You can't deal. You can't deal with anything. You can't deal with life, and you can't deal with the problems that come your way. You can't. You don't have time for anybody. All you care about is yourself. and all you care about is making sure yourself feels good. It's a very selfish endeavor. It's if you even want to call it that. It's a very selfish way to live life, and that's what I've been. I've been a selfish prick for the last decade of my life. My mother has spent days staying up at night wondering where I am. My father has gotten many phone calls from various police departments. Hi, Mr. So and so, we have your son. We just want to let you know that he's okay. He's in custody right now. His charges are XYZ. And to keep it real with you, my folks were always glad when they would get that call because they knew I was safe. It's hard for us to realize the pain that we put our loved ones through. It's hard for us to realize the damage we have caused because we ourselves are damaged. We've got unresolved trauma, things that happened years ago. Really, using heroin, it's incredibly selfish. And I'm not here to shit on heroin addicts. Lucy, come on now. I'm trying to make a YouTube video over here, old Budrick. Okay. My addiction today is manageable. My life is manageable. I'm sure you've heard it before in the rooms of AA or NA or wherever you go for support that your life becomes unmanageable when you start drinking and doing drugs. My life today is manageable.